Hi, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
My name is Chelsea McDougall. I'm the social worker here at the University of North Carolina, Pembroke, and I will be completing your assessment today.
Oh, nice.
What's your name?
Michael Chapman.
Hi, Michael. Okay. So we are gonna go over the paperwork stuff you just filled out,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna break it down a little bit for you, and we're just gonna talk about what all that means. And then I'll ask you a couple questions, just a little bit to get to know you a little bit, and then we'll dive into why you're here today, okay?
Gotcha.
Awesome. All right, so one of the papers that you filled out was about confidentiality. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so it's important to know that what we talk about here stays between us. So feel free to, talk freely, express your emotions, but we will have that confidentiality. You have a right to that, and so what we talk about will stay in this room. Okay, are you okay with that?
Definitely.
Okay, awesome. Another document that we completed was the consent to understand that if you say anything to me that has a suicidal ideation or homicidal ideation, then I am mandated to report that to the right services. So I just want you to know that yes, everything's confidential, but anything that could be a danger or harm or risk to you or to others, then I have to report that. Okay? Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, and then the next part is that you're participating in treatment at your own free will. If you're wanting to participate, if you're not wanting to participate, that's completely up to you. You have the right to consent, the right to be here. So just keep that in mind with our sessions. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm glad that you're wanting to talk with me and wanting to kind of, address whatever it is that's going on. And so you have the right to be here. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay.
Glad to be here.
Awesome. Okay, so we've kind of got all that stuff out the way. So let's talk about you. Tell me a little bit about you.
Well, my name is Michael Chapman Jr.
Okay.
I have 9 siblings.
Mm-hmm.
My father is Michael Chapman Sr. My mother is Latoya Cisco.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And you have how many siblings?
9.
9 siblings. And are you the oldest or?
Definitely not. I'm actually right in the middle. 4 older than me, 4 younger than me.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Right.
Okay.
Middle child syndrome.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Well, nice. It's nice for you to be here. I'm glad we're able to take this time, this opportunity to get to know you, and I'm here to help as always. I forgot, I left one thing out. I wanted to talk about the purpose of our agency. So here we are here to address mental health issues and substance abuse concerns. And our goal is to kind of talk to you, build that rapport, build that trust, to help you with whatever it is that you're needing. So I will make the necessary referrals that you're comfortable with. We'll discuss your treatment plan. We'll discuss your concerns. We'll discuss your symptoms, all of those things to determine what exactly you're needing in order to be successful, okay?
Thank you.
I also have my paper here that I'm using to kind of guide our session. I hope that's okay. Is that fine?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So, have you ever participated in treatment before?
Never. It's my first time.
Your first time. Okay. So, do you have any questions for me?
Not at this moment.
Okay. So, we've gone over the paperwork stuff. We've talked about confidentiality, your consent, and I've gotten to know you a little bit. So let's go ahead and dive right in.
Gotcha.
All right. So tell me a little bit about why you're here today.
I've just been feeling a little anxious at work. So,
Okay.
Yeah, that's really the main reason.
Feeling anxious? What does that look like?
It's just hard for me to concentrate on my work. It's hard for me to focus on one task at a time. I start to jump around a little bit, start to feel a little, let's see, how do you say, frantic? I'm not going to explain it.
Okay. So you're jumping from one task to another, and you've been feeling a little frantic at work.
Yeah.
Okay. How long has that been going on?
Since I started, really.
Since you started?
Yeah, it's maybe a month into the job.
Okay. And how long have you been at the job? A month or longer?
Longer, way longer. It's been a year.
Okay. Nice. Wow. Well, congrats to a year of employment.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
And where did you say you're working? I think I asked that.
Yeah, I didn't say actually. I work for the military,
Okay.
Fort Bragg. I'm a paralegal specialist,
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
attorney's assistant.
Awesome. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Okay. So you work in the military. You're a paralegal, attorney's assistant, and about a month in, you've been feeling anxious,
Definitely.
frantic, and jumping from different tasks. Okay. So can you explain to me a little bit more what the frantic part looks like? How does, like, when you're at work, what does that look like?
Like I can't. Maybe I'm not using the right word for
Okay.
it. But it's like I feel like I said anxious. I don't know like another word for anxious. You know what I mean? So it looks like me. Dang, this is really hard to explain.
That's
Sorry,
okay.
I've never done this before, so I'm a little nervous.
Take your time. That's what we're here for, just to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I hear what you're saying, so we can break down what frantic looks like.
Mhm.
So talk to me about what the workplace environment is like.
Well, I feel like I'm the only black.
Okay.
I'm the only minority in the office. I work with 2 guys and 2 women.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, there is another minority. My sergeant. Her
Mhm.
name is Powell. Yeah. I don't know if I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I said earlier, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about today. It's in this room, so
Gotcha.
that's fine. Okay. So do you think you being a minority has to do with your feelings of anxiousness?
Definitely. I feel like me being a minority and me being the youngest in the office. So yeah, I feel like they look at me as like some kind of punk kid and pulling me this way and pulling me that way, and it really gets to me sometimes.
Yeah, I understand that. So when you're feeling this way in the office, how do you usually deal with that?
Work, I try to lose myself into the work. Instead of like listening or focusing on them, I try to just drown myself in work, just focus on that. And I can be a little snappy at times when I do that. So.
Okay. So when you're feeling anxious at work, you often drown yourself in work.
Definitely.
And it sometimes leads you to be snappy.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's definitely understandable. Everyone has different stressors that they experience that cause them to have feelings of anxiousness. So I definitely think I could see that as being a reason why, possibly. Do you think there's anything else that is making you feel anxious at work?
I don't believe so. Maybe like if we keep on talking, maybe I can think of something along the way. But right now, I can't think of anything else.
Okay.
Being the youngest and being a minority, I feel like
Two big things.
Yeah.
Two big things. So when you're feeling anxious, how else, other than drowning yourself in work and being snappy, are there any other ways you deal with that anxiousness?
Eating and sleeping.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
So eating how?
Like just snacking. I keep a bag of chips or some candy in my drawer. So.
So overeating?
I wouldn't say. Oh, look, I'm like a twig. I wouldn't say overeating, but definitely just.
Okay.
Yeah, that oral fixation.
Okay. Constantly eating. Okay, snacking.
Snacking. Yeah, constantly snacking.
Okay. What about you said sleeping? What does that look like?
So as soon as so my schedule looks like I get up in the morning 6:30 PT. We get off around 7:30, and once we get off, we don't have to go back in until 9:30. So in that time, I take a quick shower, brush my teeth, and then go right to sleep until about 9:25. Right until I have to wake up. And then I go into work till 9:30 to 11:30, and I get a lunch break. When I get my lunch break, I'm either snacking or sleeping until I have to go back in at 1.
Okay.
Right after work, do a little bit of homework, go to sleep.
So seems like any break you get, you're sleeping.
Definitely.
Taking that time. And I don't know if you know, like I'm just gonna see where you're at with your sleeping. Do you feel like you're getting good sleep while you're resting? Do you feel like you're restless? Do you feel like you're heavy sleeping, like it's hard to wake up sometimes? Like describe your sleeping patterns.
Well, actually, it's different days. It's different things.
Okay.
Sometimes in the morning it's very hard to wake up. That 6:30 kills me.
Yeah.
So 6:30. Sometimes I start to wake up. Sometimes I get that restless sleep. So it's even harder for me to wake up. Like I feel like I've been up all night and been asleep probably 9 hours. And in the middle of the day, definitely restless sleep. Like I wake up just as tired as I went to sleep.
Okay.
I've heard I slept talk about work. Yeah, that's how
Really?
restless I am. That's how anxious I am.
Yeah, and well, that's a good example. I'm glad you shared that to give me an idea of like what's going on. Well, I understand. So you're eating, snacking, you're sleeping, but your patterns are a little off. Sometimes it's restless. Sometimes it's heavy, like in the morning. And then oftentimes you're just drowning yourself in work, and you're snappy with your coworkers.
Yep.
Leaving anything else out?
No, I think
No,
that's it.
that's everything. Okay. Well, I understand that being anxious and having anxiety can not only affect you in the workplace, but also outside the workplace.
Definitely.
So it's awesome that you're able to recognize that and you're able to, see where you're at. I think that's a really good trait.
I appreciate it.
So I think let's see about the anxious at the workplace. Let's start from the top of what you were talking about. Have you discussed with your coworkers or your sergeant about what you're feeling? Is that something you can do?
Sort of, kind of. Like I've kind of just like the tip of the iceberg. I explain to them I'm kind of feeling overwhelmed, and they kind of need to lay off, but in a nice way. And I feel like it hasn't done anything.
What were their responses?
They said, we'll try to do better, or I get it, blah blah blah. I've had this long discussion that was in one ear and out the other, because nothing changed. I'm more of an action type of person. Like you can tell me all day, but I won't believe you until you show me. So
that's understandable. And I see it can be frustrating, like voicing your concerns and not feeling like they're heard.
definitely.
Is that what you're feeling?
Definitely.
Okay. So you have tried to talk to your coworkers, your people within your workspace, correct? So let's dive into a little bit when you said you're feeling snappy. When you feel that way, how do you just let those frustrations go, or do you kind of check yourself, or do you just say, hey, I'm upset in this moment and I'm gonna be that snappy person?
So again, different days, different reactions.
Okay.
So just depending on how upset I am at that point, like how snappy or how anxious I'm feeling.
Okay.
So sometimes I just say it and just wipe it under the rug or sweep it under the rug. And then sometimes I'm like, oh man, let me make up for it. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm just a little irritated right now. And other times I just realize I'm doing it and don't do it again.
Okay. Do you feel that the snappy is outside of work as well? Like maybe with those same people or with other people in your life, or do you think it stays in the workplace?
I think sometimes it can seep over into my personal life, like the life outside of work. Like I have a girlfriend. Sometimes I can feel like I'm taking my frustration out on her, or like my mom, like anybody who's talking to me. You know what I mean? I'm just like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Well, that's good that you recognize that. And I mean, it's completely normal. If you're feeling, overwhelmed or anxious in the workplace, it's definitely going to lead outside of work, especially if it's not being handled or dealt with.
Definitely.
Okay. So then let's also talk about the eating. What kind of stuff do you snack on? Like, are they healthy snacks?
No, definitely not healthy, man. I have this one favorite of mine. I get some queso blanco.
Okay.
The tortilla dip. I don't know how to say tortillas. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. And then I get some flaming hot Doritos, and I dip it in the queso, and I just snack on that all day.
Okay. It may not, I don't know if it's healthy enough. That does sound pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's fine.
That does sound good.
That'd be good.
Okay. So that's your go-to snack?
That's definitely the go-to. Other than that, it's just maybe candy.
Okay.
Yeah, just different types.
Have you tried to incorporate some healthy foods throughout the day?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, not a healthy person.
Okay. You're not a healthy person.
Look, I mean, I eat anything.
Okay.
I eat a whole bunch of junk.
Okay. You said something about, I asked if you were snacking or if you were overeating, and you said, "Look, I'm skinny." Like something like you said, "I'm slim." So, are there times you're not eating?
Definitely. Like
Okay.
how much I sleep,
Oh,
I really don't have time to eat. Like I'm choosing sleep over food.
okay. Okay. How do you feel like that's affecting your anxiety right now?
Ooh, it's affecting a lot, especially because I'm trying to have a hot boy summer. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get big.
Mm.
So,
I don't think I'm aware of what a hot boy summer is.
you're not on social media. Okay, well, we don't have to dive into that.
Okay.
But I'm trying to be like, I want to have a summer body, and I
Okay.
can't have a summer body looking like a 14-year-old.
Right. Okay. I hear you. I understand. So let's just recap everything because I like to make sure I'm understanding and hearing you.
I appreciate it.
And I know what's going on. So at the workplace, you feel like your coworkers treat you differently, right? They don't respect you, so you have talked to them, but nothing's worked.
Definitely.
You said you're snappy in work and your home life.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can fix it in the moment, sometimes you can't. Okay. Okay. You said you're constantly snacking.
Yep.
Flaming hot Cheetos with the queso.
Not the Cheetos, it's the Doritos.
Oh, the Doritos.
Yeah.
The flaming hot Doritos with the queso is your go-to, but then oftentimes you're not eating at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then your sleeping patterns, as we said, were a little off. They're either restless or you're heavy sleeping or just sleeping and don't feel like you've slept at all.
Yep.
Okay.
It's like a cycle.
I understand that. Okay. So I think that it's important to recognize that, you definitely are feeling anxious. There's definitely some barriers between you and the workplace and allowing you to be successful and be able to operate how you're supposed to operate. So I think it's important that, maybe we can discuss some coping skills to help you combat what that's like and how to deal with it.
Do you want to hear my coping skills?
Sure.
I mean, if you have some suggestions,
I
listen.
want to hear your first. I should have asked that question. Tell me your coping skills. What do you do?
Well, actually, I have one good outlet. I
Okay.
have a lot of vices, but one of them is very good.
Okay.
So, I actually talked to my girlfriend.
Okay.
She's she's the one I feel like I'm kind of putting it all on her because she's the only one I can really talk to about this stuff. So, I talk to her about everything. So
Okay.
she's like my best friend. So, I really go to her. That's my only good one.
Okay. Your only good one.
I lean on her a lot, but
Well, there's good is good. Doesn't matter how many.
definitely.
Okay.
The other one is vaping. I'm a heavy vaper.
Oh, so you vape.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
I do vape.
How often do you vape?
Every day.
Okay.
Every day. Like sometimes I do it in the office and I'm supposed to.
Okay.
So,
Mhm.
Eating, like I said, sleeping. Those are my coping mechanisms.
Okay.
Sometimes, like if I get a little downtime, I might play the game.
Okay.
I might listen to some music. Drinking.
Okay. How often do you drink?
Not that often. Maybe like once a week. Fridays mostly.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you sharing those coping mechanisms. I don't like to label them and say like one is good, one is bad. Everyone you're coping with what you're dealing with at the moment.
Mhm.
And so what we're going to do is take what you're dealing with and kind of make that into a way that's beneficial to you in your work life, in your personal life, in your home life. I think it's great that you mentioned your girlfriend. Having a natural support is important.
Definitely.
Someone to lean on, because you just never know. It's good to have someone that has your back. And, the other things, the sleeping and the eating and the vaping and the drinking. Well, let me ask you about that. Do you feel like when you do drink, because you said once a week, right?
Mhm.
What do you usually drink?
Liquor.
Liquor. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes I might have a couple beers if I'm not drinking liquor, but it's usually liquor.
Okay. All right. And when you're vaping, is that, I guess there's not really a specific type of vape, right? It's tobacco?
Yes, it's nicotine.
Nicotine.
Not tobacco.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. I'd just like to get an idea of what it looks like to kind of figure out, where you are when it comes to substances, and that's fine. I'd just like to know where you're at. So if that's something a goal that you want to work on to decrease or to change, however that might be, we can work on that.
Definitely.
Okay. So I appreciate you sharing, like I said. So with everything that you said, what are some coping, some coping skills I think that might be helpful are talking to your girlfriend. You said that's a good positive thing.
Mhm.
Is there anyone else you can talk to?
I mean, I guess my mom, but she's going through a lot too, so I don't want to like burden her with my problems. You know?
Yeah.
So mostly just her.
Okay. So possibly we can look into linking you to other community resources and supports to kind of help you have someone to bounce on. Because it's good that you have your girlfriend for support, but you're also going to want to have someone outside of that. I hate to say this, but like God forbid something happened to her, you know, what would you do?
Exactly.
Who would you have? So I am a strong advocate for having multiple people in your corner, multiple people to rely on, to count on, especially in different scenarios. So I think that's be great. Like, you know, we can create a healthy support network and figure out, you know, who's gonna be good for you.
Okay.
Okay. So let me stop for a second. Do you have any questions so far?
No, I do not.
No. Are you feeling comfortable?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little relaxed now.
Okay.
Got the edge off.
Okay. All right, good. So I'm glad to hear that. Let me ask, you did say you have 9 siblings. Are they an option for being a support to you?
They definitely are. I'm not gonna lie, they definitely are.
Okay.
We have a group chat, everything.
Nice.
We still talk frequently, so yeah, I can see myself talking with them too.
Okay. So maybe that can be a lot of part of your support too. Sometimes it can feel a little uncomfortable, you know, going to someone outside of your girlfriend or your mom or your coworker about other things, but there's other people out there who might be willing to support you. So maybe your siblings might be an awesome support. I know within our agency, you know, I'll be a support to you, you know, with our sessions that we'll meet. But also we have partners with other programs. Like we have a backpack buddy program. We have a support group program. We have a lot of different programs that you can participate in if you feel like you're interested, that can offer that extra support that you might need. So, you know, after our session, if you meet with our receptionist, they can give you the details on that.
Thank you.
Okay. So another coping skill I think that might be beneficial to utilize would be finding like a hobby or activity to engage in after work. It's good to have something outside of work because you're exerting your energy in other ways. So if it's a sport, if it's a arts activity, if it's just anything, gaming. Oh, there we go.
I did say gaming though.
Gaming. You did say gaming. So you said you do gaming a little bit. How often do you game?
Whenever I'm not sleeping.
Okay.
Like whenever I'm not sleeping, I'm on the game.
Okay.
Maybe like binging Netflix or something, but mostly on the game.
Okay. So do you feel like gaming is a good outlet for you?
Definitely.
Awesome. Okay. So
I guess I have two.
You said what?
I guess I have 2 good outlets.
Okay, that's good. I mean, gaming is definitely awesome. And one thing great about gaming is there's gaming support groups. So you can have a support group where you're having people who like to game with you. What do you feel about that?
I'm actually an online gamer, so I definitely do have people I can play with and game with me. And that's always making me feel good. You know, that's a way I forget about work. So, yeah, I can definitely see that being a good coping mechanism.
Okay.
Skill.
Yeah, and that way you're kind of leaving work at work. You know, leaving personal life, you know, at personal life, separating them, and allowing yourself to kind of focus in on that one activity. What about exercise? How do you feel about that?
I do that every morning. So,
Sure.
yeah, the PT, I have 6:30, that's what I'm doing till 7:30, working out. But I don't eat enough, so it's not giving me any progress. I need to start eating healthier. You know?
Okay, well then, you brought me to my next point, eating healthy.
Dang, you're good.
Well, you know, sometimes those sugary foods, those salty foods, they're so good they taste good, but they're not good for our bodies.
Definitely.
So they're gonna lead to increased aggravation, aggression, sleepiness, lack of energy because they're not good. They're not beneficial to your body. So maybe we can incorporate some healthy snacks on a daily basis. Maybe some fruits and vegetables in between those chips and queso.
Yeah.
So that way, maybe through the workday that helps you decrease your anxiety and it helps you get through without feeling agitated.
Okay.
What are some healthy snacks you like? Do you have any?
Not at this moment.
Okay.
Maybe some celery. I like celery.
Okay.
So I guess that's all.
Celery is pretty good. Well, one good thing is we can look at the Army might have some nutrition services that you can maybe see if they can like help you with the diet or plan to incorporate some healthy things in there. Especially you talked about not eating at all, so maybe you can add in some preferable meals that you can incorporate on a daily basis to help you eat more. And you're trying to gain weight?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Okay. So maybe we can incorporate that into your diet.
Yeah, I'll try it. This is like the eating for me. Like I love food, but I don't have the time for it.
I don't have time for it. You're that busy. Oh man. Well, okay. So let's see. Let's recap. We talked about having some support, some additional supports in your life, building a healthy support network. We talked about incorporating an outside activity, gaming you mentioned,
Yes,
so maybe a gaming support group, gaming more to kind of get your mind off of the stressors at work. We also talked about eating healthy, exercising. Okay, so tell me about your anxiety. I think we dived into that, but I want to see how you feel more with what your anxiety looks like. So you said frantic. I'm gonna give like a list of things. You can see if these apply to you. Is it that you sometimes feel like you're out of breath? Are you sweating? Are you stuttering? Are you
stuttering and
fidgeting?
Fidgeting.
Okay. And how often in the workplace are you experiencing anxiety?
At least 4 out of 5 days.
4 out of 5 days. And which days do you work? How many days do you work a week?
Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
So 4 out of those 5 days you feel
Definitely.
Okay. That's something I like to ask and I like to think about because how I want to just gauge where your anxiety level is. How anxious are you? How often is it affecting you within the workplace? And so I like to kind of get a feel for that. Have you ever had anxiety in any other situations in your life?
Definitely.
Okay.
So don't tell anybody. This is, I know the confidentiality, but I actually have a lot of anxiety when it comes to skating.
Oh.
Yeah, man, I cannot skate to save my life.
Okay.
I keep myself up, but that's about all.
Okay. Okay. Well, skating is another hobby.
Smelling bad. I hate smelling bad. Like
that gives you anxiety.
A lot of anxiety.
Okay.
So when those two things mix,
I understand. So I would think that because you feel that way, and it sounds like that's in a preferred activity, unless like there's a skating event that you guys go to or something, family, friends, girlfriend. I'm assuming you don't skate often.
No, don't skate often.
So, are there any other instances where you do feel anxious that you're like required to go to or you're forced to like be in? Like, and I don't want to say forced because that word is kind of strong, but like work, we have to go to work. Is there any other scenarios where you do feel the same or any anxiety at all?
I say like when I'm eating inside of restaurants.
Okay.
Like I feel a little anxious and I don't know why.
Okay.
Like I think in the back of my head I was just like, oh no, something's gonna happen. Someone's gonna come in here. I just have a whole bunch of random thoughts. Maybe my card is gonna decline, but I just got paid. Like it's just so weird.
Yeah. That's understandable. So eating out in restaurants gives you some anxiety. And what does it look like when you're there? When you're out in a restaurant, what does that look like?
It usually looks like just me being a little awkward. More awkward than I already am.
Okay.
So
maybe not talking with a lot of other people. Possibly
staying to myself.
Okay.
Maybe looking around a little bit.
Okay. Excuse me. I'm sorry. So you're not really talking to other people. So how often do you eat out in restaurants?
Not often.
Okay.
Like, it might be like maybe 2 weekends, maybe 1 weekend out of the month.
Okay.
But not often.
So it definitely seems like, the anxiety can show up in other aspects of your life, not just in the workplace. And it seems like, and you can always correct me if I'm wrong, I'm kind of just recapping and summarizing what you're saying, but it seems like outside of the workplace, when you're feeling anxious, you kind of avoid those activities,
Yeah.
but you can't avoid the workplace.
Yeah.
Does that sound right? So I would like to say that avoiding the skating, the smelling bad, eating in restaurants is part of your coping skill.
Definitely.
It helps you not feel anxious, right? And that's something that I understand, but I wonder how we could incorporate those activities and decrease your anxiety, right?
Okay.
How can we go to the skate rink knowing your anxiety and be able to participate there? Or eat in a restaurant and knowing how you feel, but be able to engage and discuss, right? Have you thought about that at all, or you just?
I definitely have.
Okay.
I definitely have, but it's just, I feel like when you're in the moment, it's so hard to see like the other side.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, and that's understandable. I think that's definitely something we could talk about in our next sessions. Kind of dive into how we can prepare ourselves to eat in restaurants, to skate, to engage with other people, to decrease like any personal hygiene issues. I think that's something we can discuss and kind of build that confidence there.
Well, you know what I mean? We don't have to worry about the personal hygiene because I definitely avoid that.
Okay.
At all costs.
Okay. Well, how do you avoid it?
I take like 3, maybe 4 showers a day.
Okay.
Deodorant, lather, layers, cologne, smelling good lotion.
Okay.
I put on all the smell goods I possibly can.
Okay.
The only thing that probably stink are my feet. That's because the boots.
Oh, those army boots.
Yeah, they suck.
Okay. So I like how you added that there. You kind of, let's say, manage the smelling bad by doing those various things: the showering, the cologne, the deodorant, all of those things. Well, how can we apply that to the other scenarios, to the workplace?
I think it's just like more for like prepared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know how to prepare to go eat out in a restaurant.
Right.
Prepare to go skating. Like, what do I do? Like, woosah?
Woosah, meditate.
Meditate.
Is the correct term. So a way that we would prepare to eat out in a restaurant is maybe looking at the menu ahead of time, seeing what's up there. So when you get there and they say, "What do you like?" you already know what you like. That decreases your time being in the restaurant. Maybe scoping out the restaurant, looking at the reviews, driving by it first. Just calling ahead of time, seeing if it's busy. That might help decrease some anxiety you might have eating in the restaurant. Sometimes I've heard other people say they sit at a certain chair, so they sit with their back away from the door, but no, facing the door. They're back away, but they're facing the door.
Yeah.
So they can see who's coming in. That helps with decreasing anxiety eating in. And we can always, in our sessions, discuss different prompts and role play scenarios and how to conversate with other people in the restaurant, the waiters, the front person you're going to give your money to, maybe double checking your account before you go, making sure you have enough money, maybe bringing cash. And these are things we can work up to. It's not something that we're going to all tackle right now, but it's something that we can talk about and work our way up to, decreasing the anxiety, making it so that you can go in there stress-free. How does that sound?
That sounds amazing.
What things sound to you?
What about the skating?
The skating. So let's see. Talk to me a little bit more about, what is it that skating gives you anxiety?
The fear of falling.
Okay.
I think that's really what it is, like a fear of embarrassing myself.
Okay.
Because I can't skate.
Okay.
Like, I'm just like wobbling all throughout the rink. And then when I feel like I have it, like I'm feeling good, I fall.
Okay.
So I feel like I can't let my guard down ever. I can't let my guard down at all.
So it sounds like, the saying, practice makes perfect.
That's true.
So sometimes with skating, you have to fall a couple times. You have to rough yourself up to learn to perfect the skill. So I hate to say it to you, but go in there more. It might help you build that confidence and get more comfortable. I would recommend going to the same skating rink. Maybe not going to different ones, going to that same one so you know what to expect, you know how the lanes are, you know what the skates are like. Maybe bring your own skates so you can practice at home, maybe within your own home or in the street so you have your own comfortable practice before going.
Yeah.
Comfortable clothing.
Comfortable clothing,
So
definitely.
if you fall, you are comfortable. You don't rip your pants or your shirt, mess up your shoes or anything. So you're comfortable. And the same thing with the restaurant. Maybe just scoping out like what kind of event is that? What kind of people
What
are
kind of people are
gonna be there?
Yeah, okay,
See,
okay.
you're catching on.
I get it.
Yeah. How does that sound like when it comes to skating? And you can even touch on the restaurants. Does that sound like
Something. It sounds very doable.
Okay.
Something I can definitely do, and I will try to implement. Is that the word? Implement.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
So let me ask this question. As we're discussing these activities that you said make you anxious, how are you feeling talking about that? Because I've noticed you're pretty calm, but I've noticed some shifting in your body language.
Oh yeah, it just makes me anxious even thinking about this. Like you know what I mean? So, you know, just another coping skill. Start
Okay.
moving around. Start talking with my hands.
Right.
Makes me feel a little less nervous. I'm starting to stutter too.
Well, we can take some deep breaths. Take some personal deep breaths, and just remind yourself we're conversating, we're discussing about this. So that's something to also keep in mind. Breathing, breathe. Allow your body to, it's responding to how you're feeling. Your body's reacting.
Definitely.
So breathe, relax. I just wanted to ask that question because as we were talking, I noticed some anxiety. So I kind of, I can see where we're at with how you're feeling and where you're at with these activities. And I noticed that, and I just want to make sure I'm checking in with you.
Yeah.
Definitely if you are feeling anxious about the conversation or feeling uncomfortable, you can always let me know.
I'm good. I appreciate it.
Okay, so now we got to tackle the big thing that's making you
Oof.
anxious, the workplace.
Man.
So how can we decrease work at the workplace?
Now that's gonna be a problem. I feel like, what are you want me to give my
Sure,
suggestion?
I'd love it. Yeah.
Like I don't know. I really I've already tried talking to them. I feel like nothing's being done. So do I just keep on talking to them? But maybe just keep on just diving into work. Maybe that'll help it. If they see that I'm not just some kid off the street or some kid black person. Maybe they just see me as a professional. Then I can just build my repertoire from there and stuff.
I like that. Building your professionalism and keeping yourself focused on work. It's a great way to kind of decrease the anxiety. You're building up your career, you're building up who you are, you're building up your self-esteem. Those are all really good things to do. But I also am thinking about what about organization? Sometimes, go ahead.
I'm actually, I've just got organized again because I've noticed like when I do get anxious, I do feel like my mind is cluttered, my workspace is cluttered.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny that you say that because just last week I cleaned up my whole desk, cleared out filing cabinets, and restarted the process.
Okay. And after doing that, how did you feel?
I felt great. I felt like my head was a little bit more clear. I could find everything with ease. Just
Okay.
I know where everything is.
So on before you cleared out your desk, on a scale of 1 to 10, where was your anxiety at work?
I'll say 8.
Okay.
8.5.
8.5. All right. And then after you cleaned and organized your desk, where were you at on the scale?
Like a 7.6.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, there you go. You already figured out one thing that's going to help you decrease your anxiety.
Definitely.
Organization. Keeping an organized desk, I think it's a great way because it's like you're not looking for paperwork, you're not searching for a document. You know where everything is and you know how to find it. Do you use a planner?
I do not.
Okay.
I've been told to do so many times. But I guess I can start now since the clutter is gone. But once that clutter is there, it's just hard for me to concentrate on a planner, a to-do list, finding stuff, So
I understand. A planner would kind of help with the anxiety. So if like a Wednesday I have this meeting, or Thursday I have this PT I have to participate in that's going to keep me in this time, it'll kind of help you visually see what your week is looking like, what your month is looking like, what your day is looking like, and it can kind of help you prepare for the day, the week, the month, and you'll know what to expect. How does that? What do you think about that?
That sounds good. You know, maybe if I see it, you know, I am a visual person. I'm a
Okay.
visual learner. So
Okay.
if I see it, it should help me out a lot. Never really thought about it that way.
Yeah. Well, that's good. It'll definitely give you a way to just kind of be prepared for what the week is going to look like. And even put some on my planner. I like to put things to look forward to. So I always mark the birthday for the month, or if I have a trip planned, or any appointments that I might have. Because, and some people keep separate planners, like a work, a personal, you know, you organize your planner how you like. I know I'm sounding a little nerdy because I'm like getting into the planner, but I like to keep everything on there because I like to, for myself, I look at things as a whole. So I want to know, okay, my son's appointment's on Wednesday, and then Thursday morning I have a meeting. So when we get home from the appointment, I gotta, you know, it gauges my whole week, knowing that this is at 5:30 and I have a meeting at 8:30. I need to get in bed early so I can prepare. That's how my mind works with the planner. So that definitely might help you just kind of taking on the week and taking it on as a whole. So I would like, it's interesting about with your coworkers, because it seems like that's the main part of the stress, you know, feeling like a minority, feeling like they don't respect you. So I know that you don't, let me ask, I'm not sure if you don't want to keep talking to your coworkers.
You know, it's not, I mean, throughout the day, like, I don't want to talk to them anymore because they do treat me unprofessionally. You know, the lack of respect kind of gets to me. But if, you know, they were more respectful, then of course, you know, they'd be cool people. I wouldn't have any issue with them. I'm an easygoing guy. I don't like to be anxious. There's very few things like that make me anxious.
So is there anyone you can talk to about what's happening in the workplace?
In the workplace, I would say there is one person, and his name is Captain Ross. He's actually the attorney I work under.
Okay.
But he left for this this special forces school.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to special forces, so he's been going since like January.
Okay.
And right after he comes back, he's leaving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
I'm sorry about that. I wish there was someone we could talk to. I know the Army is very strict in their rules and their policies. So I know a lot of companies, organizations have worked toward, you know, trying to incorporate diversity training into the office. But, you know, sometimes in recent days with what's been going on in the news, we've had to take on that responsibility ourselves.
Yeah.
Because of course, you know, I'm a minority as well, so we have to take the responsibility of educating other people about, you know, respect and minorities and diversity and everything like that. And so it is a challenge. It is a challenge. It is frustrating, but it's part of the challenge that people take on to, you know, educate just educate other people. So, you know, I know it's stressful, but I want to applaud you and give you. I'm glad that you're taking on that and letting them know what's going on.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we are going to continue to dive in on the workplace and kind of talk about it. I'd love to hear next week about trying these coping skills.
Of course, I'll tell you all about it.
And just seeing how those work, seeing how you feel doing them. And again, we'll kind of gauge your anxiety on that skill we talked about and just see how you're feeling. So I think that'll be really good to do. Did you have any other questions?
You know, I've talked a lot about me. What about you? Like, where you from? Like, what's
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, you
go ahead.
Like, I feel like you're a complete stranger. I'm just pouring my heart out to a stranger.
I apologize. So I can tell you a little bit about myself. Like I said, I'm the social worker here at the University of North Carolina, Pembroke. I am working in the mental health field, and I am from Chapel Hill. So I definitely have dived into this work because I have a passion and I care about working with my clients. And I really have a knack for mental health. So I do enjoy working with other people and just being there to help and being there and, as a branch of support.
Nice.
So,
It was nice to
yeah.
meet you, Chelsea.
Yep. It was nice meeting you too. I appreciate you coming in today. As we discussed earlier, we have those the resources at the top,
At the reception.
at the reception in the front, that are there for resources about support and support groups and people you can talk to. So feel free to stop by there on your way out.
Thank you.
Do you want to meet next week?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so we'll meet next week and talk again and see where we're at. All right.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.